Thank you.
Christ, it's a trap! Seal the door! They're in the wall!
With the artifact now in their possession, the UNSC begins studying its origins and discover it to be over 100,000 years old. Admiral Perengoski, bitter with Dr. Halsey's deception, designates Miranda Keyes to lead a parallel team to investigate if the Keystone can give the humans a potential edge over the Covenant. Dr. Halsey, with further UNSC backing, expedites the initiation of the Cortana system by waking up a clone of herself from stasis. The clone and Master Chief are prepped for the procedure, which involves effectively uploading Cortana from the clone's mind onto a small device through a fatal operation for the clone, and then surgically implanting the device containing Cortana into Master Chief's brain. While John is still unconscious from the procedure, Dr. Halsey takes the opportunity to converse with the AI Cortana, who can project herself into the outside world from within Master Chief's brain. Cortana asks Dr. Halsey why she is unable to take control of Master Chief's body, and is told that her implantation into Master Chief is currently limited to a small portion of his brain, so that any adverse effects of the Covenant artifact on both John and Cortana could be studied before a full handover of control to Cortana. When John wakes up, he is less than enthusiastic about the result, viewing it as being saddled with a babysitter, but Dr. Halsey continues to reassure him of its necessity. On Rubble, Quan becomes distressed at learning of the ever-worsening state of the resistance on Madrigal. News of Vinsher's continued triumph forces her to ask Soren for help in returning to Madrigal. Soren is initially dismissive, telling her he has no reason to send her to danger or help her get killed. His wife, Lyra, also tries to help convince her to refrain from throwing her life away, but Quan insists that she cannot live knowing that her people are dying, while she does nothing. After Soren foils her attempt to escape Rubble by hijacking his ship, Quan convinces him to take her back home, in return for money in the form of deuterium, the fuel Madrigal is famous for. Meanwhile, Makee begins her search for the artifact and Master Chief by coming into contact with a UNSC patrol ship. She pretends to be a prisoner on a Covenant spacecraft, the only one left when its engines failed and the crew abandoned the ship. The wary soldiers send over a pod to bring her over to their ship, which she promptly overtakes with the help of strange Covenant creatures, killing all humans on board. She then proceeds to hijack the ship's computers to carry out her investigation. She finds that most of the information was wiped off and decides to head for Madrigal to continue her search. With Cortana and Master Chief suitably integrated, Dr. Halsey begins the examination of the Keystone. She sends John into a shielded room and asks him to touch the artifact while she and Cortana study the results. Upon activation, John is inundated with more memories. After a few seconds, Dr. Halsey asks Cortana to take over John's body. When she does so, the artifact stops responding, determining that Cortana's takeover of John's body will terminate the artifact's effect. She tells Cortana to return John's body to his control. After the session ends, Master Chief returns to his quarters, where he meets his fellow Spartan squad mates. He invites them to ask any questions they may have regarding his recent behavior, but they reassure him that they've served with him since their childhoods and are with him 100% of the way. As he prepares to leave, Cortana takes the opportunity to introduce herself to them, much to his chagrin. After meeting his teammates, John heads off to a computer and begins using keywords to search for the location he kept seeing in his memories. After several unsuccessful attempts, he begrudgingly asks Cortana for help, who quickly helps identify some potential locations based on his descriptions. Among these locations are some Master Chief remembers visiting as a Spartan, and he realizes that the memories triggered by the artifact contain emotions, while his memories as a Spartan do not, due to the emotional regulator pellet embedded in his spine, courtesy of the Spartan program. To help trigger his memories, he takes a blade and attempts to remove the pellet. Cortana warns Dr. Halsey of this illegal violation, but Dr. Halsey encourages her to help Master Chief with the process, so that he sees her as an ally rather than a spy. Though reluctant, Cortana assists John in removing the pellet. Finished, He grabs the bloody pellet off the floor and washes it before walking away, while a concerned Kai hides behind a pillar, watching this all happening from a distance. John then steps outside with his emotions unsuppressed and starts walking through the UNSC headquarters, studying his surroundings, the sky above him, and the people around him. Eventually, he ends up at a park, where he stands among a crowd of people listening to two musicians playing classical music. In the crowd, he sees a dog which triggers something in him, and he hurries back to base. He goes to the room where the artifact is contained and grabs it, triggering clear memories of himself as a child, drawing pictures of two artifacts that fit cleanly together, one being the artifact he is touching, and another larger one that his father made him bury in front of their home. With these clearer memories, Cortana helps him identify the planet where he spent his childhood. Eridanos II, an uninhabited planet that was part of the Reach for Life project. The project involved building small self-sustaining ecosystems on uninhabited planets and moons to seed the galaxy with human life. Cortana informs him that the program was terminated after an incurable virus spread through the population, killing most of them off, which most likely included his parents. Dr. Halsey enters the room, and John reveals everything he has learned so far. She tells him that she'll send some probes to Eridanos II to investigate, but John insists on going there in person. Worried that John might learn something he is not supposed to, Dr. Halsey volunteers to join him on his trip.